The information, opinions, and statements expressed by guests on this program are solely those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect the views of the host, Check-A-Pro, this station, its management, affiliates, sponsors, or advertisers. This program is intended for general, informational, and educational purposes only. Results may vary.
I'm taking what they're giving because I'm working for a living.
This is the Check-A-Pro Radio Show. Here's your host, the man with the hard hat and tool belt, Jim Klauck.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to the Check-A-Pro Radio Show. I am Jim Klauck, your host. On today's show, I've got someone really, really special. His name is Ted Thomas. This guy is the leader, the expert, at least in North America, as far as I know, maybe the world, and he can correct me, on tax liens. And you're like, what is that? I'm telling you, you're going to want to listen to this. Tax lien certificates. This is a program today. You, as a homeowner, can actually get involved in helping other people and maybe your local government with real estate. This is like a huge, huge way to make a lot of money, returns on your money from 16 to 18 to 24%, maybe even more. I'm not the expert on this. I asked Ted to come in because on my program, I love helping my listener. Most of you are homeowners. You understand what it's like to have a home and to pay taxes and how important that is. But there are people out there who actually can't pay their taxes for some reason. But this is where you come in to help them. And you can make some really, really good money on that. For over 150 years, educated investors have profited from investing in government auction real estate at public tax defaulted property auctions, usually called tax deed auctions. Most gurus suggest tax deed investing is easy, but they do not tell you about the costly mistakes to avoid. Ted Thomas changes all of that. Hi, I'm Jim Klauck. My guest for the full hour is Ted Thomas. He's taught this for more than 30 years, and he wrote a plain English book all about it called Your Startup Guide to Investing in Tax Lien Certificates and Tax Deeds. Today, he'll mail it to you absolutely free. I'll give you the phone number in just a few minutes, so keep a pencil handy. Ted, welcome to the program, and before we start, promise my listeners one thing. Today, you'll tell them what can go wrong, not just right.
That's a promise. Results vary, and anybody who tells you differently, they're just not realistic. So I'll give you both sides from me today.
Thank you, Ted. That sounds great. All right, Ted, we're at your kitchen table. Start at the beginning. What exactly is a tax lien certificate?
Okay, well, first of all, let's forget that name, tax lien certificate. That's an awful pair of words, and I'll kind of tell you why as we go along here. What it really is, it's a government revenue certificate.
A government revenue certificate. I don't think I've heard that.
I think you'll like to hear that in the future because here's the picture. Every county in America, every county that is, gets their income and they pay their bills basically from property taxes. That money pays the police, the firefighters, the school teachers, pays to fix the roads, and pays all the county employees. Now, I didn't make these rules, so I'm going to tell you a lot of those today. The state legislature in the state makes the rules and requires the county to execute them.
And so the county can't skip collecting property taxes and must follow the rules.
That's exactly right. The county must collect the money, and every single year they collect money on property taxes. The firefighters don't want to wait to get paid.
So what happens when a property owner doesn't pay their taxes?
Well, that's the part most people actually like, but this happens all the time. The county needs the money, so what the county sells is they sell the unpaid taxes, and they call it a tax lien certificate, and they sell it at auction. And you can buy a certificate, and your money pays the tax bill.
And that's the whole intention?
Yeah, that's what they do. That's how the county raises extra money when they need it. They sell tax lien certificates on those properties. Now, the whole process has been around for about 200 years. It's simple, and we're going to keep it simple throughout this commercial that you hear today.
All right, Ted, let me get this right. So the investor's paying a stranger's tax bill. Why on earth would an investor do that?
Well, investors do that because the state legislature made a deal with you and I, okay? And what they did is they said the delinquent owner, if they pay their past due taxes, and that's a property tax now, if they pay those taxes late, they have to pay an interest penalty. That interest goes to you and I as a reward for helping the county.
To the new investor?
Absolutely. Depending upon the state, the interest rate is set by law. Sometimes it's up to 16%. Some states it's up to 18, even 24%. Now, I don't set the rates. The state legislature does all that.
Hold on, Ted. 16, 18, I think you said 24% interest. Most savings accounts, Ted, only pay me next to nothing.
Well, I think you're going to like these tax liens as we get into the program. Right now, just be a little careful with me because I don't make these rates now. So they're not the Ted Thomas rate. What they are is a government rate set by the local county. Now, those numbers are written into the state law. So every state is different. Now, the free book that I'm going to pass out to people later on, it explains a list of those state by state.
Who's allowed to do this? Do you have to qualify somehow, Ted? Fill out an application, show your income, that kind of thing?
Well, it's been around for a long time. So there's no qualifying. The county doesn't even interview you. They care about one thing only. They don't care if you're a plumber, a piano teacher. They don't care what. You can just buy a tax lien certificate. What they want someone to pay those taxes.
So no application. They just need my money to make this work.
Right. The new investor picks the tax certificate it wants. They pay the county. The county issues the certificate. Nowadays, you can do the whole thing from your kitchen table because you can do it on a laptop computer.
So this isn't buying a house. It's passive, right? So nobody's handing you a lawnmower. There's no painting, no cleaning. It's all passive.
None of that rental property stuff. No. You don't have to fix the roof. You don't have to cut the grass. You don't have to chase anybody for rent. You hold a piece of paper. Visualize a piece of paper that came out of your printer, okay? You hold a piece of paper from the county, and the paper is nothing more than an IOU signed by the county treasurer.
Yeah, that's one of the things I don't like being about a landlord. So this doesn't even have to be in your own county, does it?
You can do it in any state that you want. Now, every state, they do their own rules. And my book lists them. You can live in Florida, you can buy in Iowa.
So some people never even leave their kitchen to do this.
That's right. They never leave the kitchens. Others drive to the courthouse because they like to go bid at the auctions.
Ted, I have to stop you here because I know my listeners, and I know them well. They've heard guaranteed before, and some of them have been burned. What actually is different here?
Well, here's the difference. It's a way to make money and do it slowly. Now, you never give your money to Ted Thomas. So I want everybody to remember that. You don't give it to a broker and you don't give it to a middleman. So we want to display how safe this is. Your money always goes directly to the county, and your profit check, when you get paid, is going to come from the county. Now, the state mandates what you'll get paid. So I'm just a teacher and an author, and I don't touch the money.
That's the whole difference.
That's the safety briefing that everybody wants to hear. Ted doesn't get the money. I'm just an educator. The money goes to the county.
All right, let me get this right. Your money goes to the county, and your check comes from the county.
Right. The county, you don't have to take my word for it, but you could call them on the phone, or you could visit with the county treasurer as an elected official. So you could call the office tomorrow morning and ask them, and they'll tell you everything that I'm going to tell you today. This program's been around for 200 years. So the program was devised by the government, and we just have to follow the rules.
So it's old.
Very old. As a matter of fact, they've been doing this for over 200 years. Back when the United States was first created, they even had politicians that didn't pay their taxes. And sure enough, but it doesn't matter what the promises are. They're all coming from the county, and the county's going to follow up and make sure that you get your money. I didn't invent it. I just teach it.
All right, folks, that's the part you can check out yourself. Your own courthouse, not a website with a countdown clock on it.
Listen to this.
I've chosen this as my retirement investment venue. I'm tired of watching stock portfolios and mutual funds go up and down and up and down. So I got online and looked in a lot of different counties to see who paid the highest interest rate, who had the easiest system to actually buy certificates. So I've found this amazing vehicle through Ted's system where you can buy something that's very high return, 18% in my case, and higher. The first tax liens I bought 3 of them for $2,273. I wanted to try it, just see if it was something that was safe and would pay off. I got those certificates in the mail, put them in my drawer, and waited. Next thing I know, months later, I got a check in the mail for $3,159. That was an 18% annual return on my money. It's an amazing world that's opened up to me with the system. And the main thing is I've taken control of it and I found something very safe with a high return. And I'm going to have enough money for retirement now. I feel confident about that.
Okay, before we go one step further, let's take care of the listeners reaching for a pencil. Ted wrote your startup guide to investing in tax lien certificates and tax deeds. It's plain English. It explains tax lien certificates, tax defaulted property, state set interest rates, and the mistakes beginners make.
Well, it's not just a little brochure now. Now, this is an educational book that's over 200 pages, so it's going to take a few hours to read it, but you'll completely understand the system before you ever get involved in doing any bids or anything like that.
All right, listen up, everybody. To get your free copy of Ted Thomas's book, call 281-695-1060. The book is free. 281-695-1060. Leave your name, mailing address, and phone number, and Ted will mail the book directly to you. The book will be shipped by the U.S. Post Office, USPS, priority mail with tracking.
Well, one more thing. What we'll do is somebody from my office will actually call you and give you a tracking number so that you'll know when the book is going to arrive. And so you can check it as it comes through the United States postal system.
Now, Ted, tell me, if somebody reads this book and wants to try this, what does it actually take to get started?
Well, I suggest people start small. You can start with one certificate for $500 or less. I wouldn't suggest anybody dig into their nest egg while they're learning this. I'd start small.
So $500.
$500 is going to be plenty. The interest on one small certificate won't change your life, but it teaches you the system with money you can afford. So one small certificate done the correct way, done carefully, beats 10 of these done in a hurry.
All right, now the question everybody is thinking, what happens if the homeowner never pays their property tax?
Well, it sounds scary, doesn't it, when someone doesn't pay their taxes, but the government took that into account. Either the defaulting owner pays your investment back plus that interest, which is your profit, or if the owner never pays, the property can become yours. The county handles that whole process, so you don't have to go out and chase the property owner.
The property becomes yours for only the back taxes you paid. Is that correct?
You hit it right on the head, just for the back taxes. Most defaulting owners pay. If they don't, the property can become yours. The county wants the tax money, not the house.
But the tax lien certificate is backed by the property.
Exactly. So if they didn't pay, then the house is going to transfer over to you after it goes through a process. So the tax lien certificate, in the eyes of the law, it's secured by the property. In other words, when you buy it, it's secured that you'll either get paid or you're going to get that house. That's what makes this different from lending money to a stranger or hoping you're going to get paid. Your money is secured by that property.
Ted, I know some of my listeners are already thinking, Jim, I don't want a stranger's house.
That's fine. I understand that. But plenty of other people don't want property. Plenty of people do want property. All right. You want to get interest, and I understand that, and that's what we teach. But if you don't get paid, not to worry, you're going to get the property, and we'll teach you how to sell it for pennies. Remember, you're only buying it for the back taxes.
And the other kind?
Well, the other kinds of people, there's some people that really like to do business with real estate. Now, I'm a real estate guy, and that's how I found out about all this, but I don't have time to tell you about it now. But when you buy a tax certificate, it's backed up by the property, and if you don't get paid, you decide which way you want to go. If you don't get paid, you can just sell it, get the house and sell it. If you want to keep if you want to just be in the business of collecting money, I understand that. But, all the details of this are really written out very well in the book, and you should learn how so that you won't make any mistakes. I promised that when we started, and now I'm fulfilling it.
But hold on. If there's a mortgage on that house, where am I standing in line? Behind the bank, obviously.
No. You're in front of the bank because, you see, the tax lien certificate is the first lien. So you'll have to trust me on this. But the tax lien stands ahead of the mortgage or deed of trust loan. It's the law in every county, all 3,000 counties in the United States. That's the law. Tax lien certificate is first, and that's what you own when you buy a tax lien certificate.
With any exceptions?
Well, the exceptions are have to do with federal liens on the property and things like that. The federal lien can stay on the property, okay? And I give you the details of all of that in the free book, and I teach you how to check before you ever buy. So you know how to do this before. That's the reason for having a book, to get you started and learn how.
That's the sentence that made me sit up when I read the book. Property taxes come first.
Well, I've taught this for over 30 years, and people still are surprised to find out that they don't have to worry about, if they don't get paid, that they're going to end up with a property with no mortgage, and they only paid the back taxes.
All right, Ted, let me make sure I have the picture. The county must collect property taxes. That's pretty obvious. When an owner doesn't pay their property taxes, the county sells a certificate. I buy it as a consumer in my local area or somewhere across the country. My money pays that tax bill, and then the owner either pays the taxes plus interest, or if the rules are followed and they never pay, the property can become mine. My money went to the county, never to Ted Thomas.
Okay, that's a great explanation. You've got it perfect. You've got it exactly right. And the book will walk you through that process a little slower than we're doing on this program, with all the state-by-state rules and the rates that they could charge.
Before I give you the phone number again, here's Ted.
Folks, I know many of you are worried about the financial security in the future, and that's important to all of you. When I started in California and Arizona, and I had to drive to the county records. It's so much more simple today. There was no internet in those days. That has all changed. Here's Anna, and she's going to explain how she and her husband, after we taught her how, they live in Costa Rica, yet they make their money buying tax-defaulted properties and tax liens in Los Angeles, California. You're going to love what you hear next.
I came across Ted Thomas material sometime in July of last year, and it was just really good timing because we were just about at time looking for something with greater returns, something that will give us more time to spend with family and enjoy our family more while, being able to live the life we've always dreamed of. Because I attended Ted's 3-day workshop, I knew that LA has a 2-day auction. What happens is whatever they don't sell on the first day, they sell half price on the second day. And that is how we ended up with our lot. We paid $14,000 for a lot that was assessed, I believe, $210,000.
You more than doubled our money.
And move on to the next deal. Yes. So we have 2 girls, almost 11 and 6 years old. And this new business will really give us more time to focus on our family, spend more time with our family, travel more. For instance, when we went to King County, we took the kids to Vancouver because that's where our family is, so they could visit grandma. At the same time, we spend time with them. So it was a bit of a family vacation / business trip, which is always nice. And being able now to work on this, not every day, 7-8 hours a day, but more kind of come and go basis. You have more free time to take family trips, to enjoy each other and make those memories that most people are just too busy, too stressed out to do when they simply, employed somewhere and they don't have time for themselves and their loved ones.
Let's make an agreement, folks. I'll provide you with the tools so you have success. I'll give you roadmaps. I'll keep you motivated. I'll give you guidance that you need. And all you have to do is give me a little bit of energy and a small investment in yourself, and you're going to love this business.
Then here it is one more time slowly for the pencils that just showed up. To get your free copy of Ted Thomas's book, call 281-695-1060. The book is absolutely free. Leave your name, mailing address, and phone number, and Ted will mail the book directly to you. The book will be shipped via USPS Priority Mail with tracking. If you want the free book while you're listening, you must call now. Call 281-695-1060. Every county in America must collect property taxes. It's just that simple. Approximately 1,500 counties sell tax lien certificates. That money pays the police, the firefighters, and the schools, county employees, and fixes roads. When a property owner doesn't pay, the county sells a government revenue certificate, which are formally called tax lien certificates. By state law, that certificate can pay up to 16, 18, or 24%. Depending upon the state. This is not new. It's been around for a very long time. The counties have been operating these systems for 200 years, and they're authorized by state law. You're listening to a full hour with Ted Thomas, who has taught this for more than 30 years. His book explains it in plain English, including how to avoid mistakes new investors make. All investing carries risk, and results vary. The book is free. Ted, who actually does this? Paint me the picture of your students.
They're just regular people that I've taught. They're plumbers, they're school teachers, they're nurses. Sometimes we have an airline pilot, but we have lots of retirees. Seniors really like this program because it's so safe and secure. The program was designed by the state government for careful people.
Careful people.
In my opinion, tax lien certificates are one of the safest investments in America. And let me tell you why. Because the interest rates are set by law, not by me, by the local government. And the rules come from the state and county, not from me.
All right, here's one from my own mailbag. I've got listeners in their 70s saying, Jim, I'm no computer whiz. Am I out?
No, the rules have changed, but everybody that looks at a computer and is challenged by it, the computer is just a convenience. It will actually teach you classes on how to use it, but you can do this without the computer. It's not a requirement. Every county has an office and a clerk, and online auctions are common. So they're going to do most of them online. So you could sit at your kitchen table and do this.
And the clerk will actually help you?
Actually, at the county, they have people and computers, so you could go to the county and actually research properties there if you wanted to. But everybody doesn't live close to the county, so they've made the computer available so you can sit in your kitchen table and you can do it there.
And then?
Yes, they'll help you because it's their program. They want the taxes paid. And if you can send an email, you can handle all the online auctions. It's a matter of click, click, click with a computer. Yes, you have to learn how to do it, but it's not difficult. But you could actually go to the county and do it at the county if you want.
And then?
Well, and then you get the county's list, you do your little homework, you buy a certificate, and you're finished. You now just sit on your rusty dusty.
I like that phone call.
I'll bet. Best phone call in the business. You get a list, you get the homework, you get a certificate. Listen to Marilyn.
Stocks are volatile. I've lost money in them before. With Ted's program, it's an online program. You buy everything online. I got 48, averaging 8-9%. Some of them are earning 18%. It's an awesome program. It's a safe, secure way to earn a whole lot better interest rate than the banks are giving you at a half or a 1%. The little guy can do it. You can have a couple of $1,000s and invest. Most of the liens that I purchased were a couple $100, under $1,000. So it's a secure program. I wish I had known this years ago.
And the timeline?
It depends upon the delinquent owner and the state rules. You have to understand that tax liens are going to have different timelines in each state. For example, if you were doing this in Texas, which we might have time to talk about later, it could be as short as 6 months. But in Florida, if you buy a tax lien certificate, it could be a longer period, like 3 years. In Arizona, it could be 2 years. I point out all of that in the book. So there's no mysteries. You're just waiting to get paid.
And the waiting is the job. Is $500 really enough to start?
Well, it's sure enough to start because certificates come in all sizes. Sometimes a certificate could be $2,000 or $10,000, but you can start small. But there's plenty of those so you can learn how and not take any risk.
So, Ted, what does a $500 certificate actually pay?
Well, I'm in Florida. You could buy a certificate in Florida and it would pay 18%. So let's say that certificate stayed outstanding for a whole year. Well, you'd make $90, but nobody's going to retire on $90.
So why bother?
Because it's the first one. It's sort of like when you first go in the swimming pool. Why not go in the shallow end, and then we can learn how in the shallow end, and then kind of learn It's a learning process, and we got to learn the rules, learn about the auctions. Basically, you're just going to learn how for $500.
It's tuition.
That's a good way to describe it. Exactly. So learn small, and then decide if you want to do it bigger.
And bigger does not mean one big swing.
Well, from my perspective, I would do a lot of little ones, okay? And I said earlier, careful investors, that's who does it. People that are seniors and adults, They don't want to spend a lot of money until they really know what they're doing. So careful investors can spend money across several certificates. They can spread it out. So when you get the list, you'll see there's thousands of tax certificates. So you could buy a couple or you could buy a dozen. It's going to be up to you. But you can buy them nationwide. You can buy them in different places.
So spread it out.
That's the idea. Most certificates redeem and pay interest. The others that follow the property process, that's going to take a little longer.
Ted, I have to tell you, when we heard about your system, the producers of this show said this sounds almost too good to be true. And they wanted to get an outside opinion from an attorney. So we contacted real estate expert, attorney, and the author of the New York Times bestseller, How Come That Idiot's Rich and I'm Not? Welcome now, Robert Sheeman. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Lynn, it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Now, Robert, Ted Thomas has been telling us about tax certificate investing and how it is a government-backed program and totally legal. And we wanted to verify with an outside legal and real estate expert like yourself that what Ted is saying is true.
Well, it's not only for real, and it's not only absolutely true, but it's legal and it's statutory. It's not just out there as some investment. This is backed, approved, and written by state governments. This is how the governments collect their tax money when people don't pay their property taxes.
So is it safe to say that this is not a far-fetched get-rich-quick scheme and that tax certificates are a predictable, certain, and secure investment that is government-sponsored and backed up by property tax laws in each state?
That's right. They occur everywhere. Wherever there's a property tax to be collected, they're legal, they work, the returns can be absolutely fantastic, and this is all for real.
Robert, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and sharing your expertise.
Ted, give us the short version of who you are.
Well, the short version is, my first career, I was an airline pilot, and I flew for Aloha Airlines in Honolulu, Hawaii. Now, you know somebody had to do that, and I was lucky enough to get that job. Then I got into real estate, and for the last 30 years, I've been investing, and I've been teaching people how to do tax lien certificates and tax defaulted properties.
And you're still doing it yourself.
I am, and nobody pays me a commission for doing any of this. You can't invest with me. You only can invest directly with the county, and I'm here as an educator and a guide to teach people how to do this.
And you're still a young guy. How old are you?
In September, I'm 87, and I love doing this business, and you can do this for your whole life because it doesn't require, it's not full-time, it's part-time.
Give my listeners a sense of scale.
Okay, now Florida lists a lot of tax lien certificates. So people travel to come to Florida to buy them, or they travel online to come here. But in the state of Florida, annually, they will post for sale or auction, as they say, they will post 1 million tax lien certificates. That means 1 million of the 22 million that live here, 1 million did not pay their property tax, and you could do that for them. So there's thousands of tax lien certificates, millions nationwide, but thousands every county in Florida.
So this is not a tiny market.
This is a huge business of abundance. The counties have delinquencies, and that's going to go on forever, and it's a growth business.
Then why doesn't the county just keep the interest themselves?
Well, the county would love to keep the interest themselves, but the challenge is the county has so many bills to pay. The county has to pay the police department, firefighters, teachers, roads, and all that. So they need money on a regular basis. So the county, whether you know the government or not, they form a budget every year, and if they charge taxes on property, so they charge the taxes out as much money as they need. Problem is, what if people don't pay their taxes? And people don't. So if they don't, they sell a tax lien certificate or they confiscate the property.
So the public supplies the money now.
Exactly. The county gets its budget filled today, and the investor gets a return allowed by the rules for waiting.
All right, I don't want you to take Ted's word for all of this or mine. In a moment, you'll hear from people who actually did it in their own words, and listen to how ordinary they sound, because that's the point. Results vary, all investing carries risk, and nobody is promising you their outcome. With that said, here's what starting small sounds like.
There are tons and tons of tax deed properties available here in the area that I live. I mean, every month we probably go to the tax deed sales, and there's anywhere from 110 to 140 properties that they're putting up the tax deeds for sale. And that's exactly how I got this one right here behind me. I bought this for the tax deed for $11,000, ended up owning the property. I'm going to rent it out for $750 a month, so I'll have it completely paid off inside of 15 months. Even though somebody's already offered me $40,000 to buy it, I'm going to keep it as a rental property because I know in 3-4 years, this house is going to be worth $80,000. And I like the sounds of $80,000 versus $40,000 in terms of my retirement.
If I can do it, anybody can do it. I find time in between feedings and changings and taking care of our farm, and I can still do it. So I did really well with this last deal. I mean, it's not over yet, but I spent just under $9,000, and I just recently sold it for $27,000. So I tripled my money in one deal. So pretty sweet.
There it is, ordinary people. You'll hear more of these before the hour is out. What's the right way to start small?
Okay, well, get educated, pick one county, read the free book and the auction rules, watch the auction without bidding, and then buy one small certificate. The book walks you through every step.
Homework first.
Exactly. Do the homework, buy carefully, and then wait for the county.
And that's the process. To get your free copy of Ted Thomas's book, call 281-695-1060. The book is free. Leave your name, mailing address, and phone number, and Ted will mail the book directly to you. The book will be shipped USPS, priority mail with tracking. If you're just joining us, the free book number is 281-695-1060. When we come back, the part Ted promised, the honest list of how people lose money at this and who shouldn't do it at all. Stay right there.
A book won't make you rich, but the right one can stop you from making an expensive mistake. Ted Thomas has taught tax lien certificate investing for more than 30 years, and his book, Your Startup Guide to Investing in Tax Lien Certificates and Tax Deeds, was written for new investors. What is a tax lien certificate? How the county auctions work. What the interest rates are, state by state, set by law. And the 5 mistakes that cost new investors real money. Plain English, only a few hours to read. All investing carries risk and results vary. The book is free. Call 281-695-1060. Leave your name, mailing address, and phone number, and Ted will mail the book directly to you. The book will be shipped via USPS Priority.
Welcome back to our Hour with Ted Thomas. A quick recap for new ears. Counties must collect property taxes. When an owner doesn't pay property tax, the county auctions a tax lien certificate. And by state law, you either get paid up to 16, 18, or 24% depending upon the state, or the property becomes yours. The free book is called Your Startup Guide to Investing in Tax Lien Certificates and Tax Deeds. To get your free copy of Ted Thomas's book, call now 281-695-1060. The book is free. 281-695-1060. Leave your name, mailing address, and phone number, and Ted will mail the book directly to you. The book will be shipped via USPS Priority Mail with tracking. Now, Ted, you promised the mistakes to avoid. How do people lose money doing this?
Well, every one of these is avoidable. So number one, some people will bid on a property and they've never looked at it. That's a no-no.
Rule 1?
And look before you buy. Don't buy a certificate on a property you would never want if the owner failed to pay.
Even a certificate?
Yes, the certificate is attached to the property, so it's wise to drive by or have someone you trust drive by. In other words, boots on the ground.
Okay, what's number 2?
Well, learn the local rules. Now, every state is going to write its own rules, and the counties do that too. So you can have a county in one part of the state with certain rules and then another. So they do things locally, and that's a big bonus in this business.
And the rules cost nothing.
That's absolutely free at the county. Anybody can do that. You can sit at your kitchen table and get all the county and all the rules for the state and read them before you spend one dime or $1. People think cheap is good. Well, folks, A $2,000 junker isn't a bargain. It's a $2,000 problem. So
cheap has a reason.
Exactly. Find the reason before you bid.
Number 4.
Know your exit strategy before you buy. Who pays you? When? And what will you do with the property if they don't pay you?
Decide in advance.
Okay, so you see, we're teaching you step by step here, and that's what the book is so good about. So in advance, if you never want that property at any price, for goodness sake, don't buy the certificate on that property.
And 5?
Don't expect to get rich by Friday. Folks, this is a long-term program that you want for the future, okay? This is the homework first, money second program.
Ted, how long can the wait be?
Well, when you buy tax certificates, the state decides on how long. So if you were buying them in Texas, you're going to buy, and it's only going to be 180 days before something happens. In Arizona, it's up to 3 years. In Florida, it's up to 2 years. So it depends on the state. Some redemption windows are really short, and some run months like in Texas. The book has all the rules and the timeline. If that bothers you, don't buy. There's going to be millions of certificates available.
So all 5 are avoidable.
Absolutely. That's why the book exists. All investment carries risk, and if you have risk, you want to make sure that you avoid those, okay? So education helps you avoid mistakes so you can see it coming.
So after that list, what's the catch?
Okay, you're not going to find a catch. Here's the deal. You have to do a little homework, and you have to have some patience. Nobody hands you a good certificate. You're going to have to research and find out which one you buy. But you sit at your computer and do that. Take maybe 10 minutes. You'll read the list. The government provides a list, not Ted Thomas. Then you can check the property. You can do that online. You already know about Google Maps and all that. We'll teach you sophisticated systems. Sometimes you might research 5 or 10 before you pick one you want. You're going to get what you want and nothing else.
And the money still goes where?
The money always goes directly to the county. In other words, you're investing with the government. You're going to get a check from the government. You're not getting a check from Ted Thomas. There's no middleman. You can't give me any money. I'm an educator.
The same rule.
That's right. Same rule. If the homework bothers you, you don't want to start.
Ted, who should not do this?
Well, I tell the people that are gamblers, in the investment business, there's a lot of speculators. You don't have to. So I say gamblers who don't read the rules, that's what gamblers are. People who don't look at the property. In other words, sight unseen. You wouldn't marry the woman unless you had seen her, that sort of thing. Anybody who needs money and you need it this week, this is not the business for you. This is patient money. Learn how, invest your money, wait for it to come back. You get nice checks from the government.
And the auction itself?
The auction is simply this. Never bid just to win. Auctions can make you forget the math. So you want to bid so that you get the highest possible interest rate.
Homework before bidding.
Every time.
That keeps it simple.
Absolutely.
Earlier you mentioned tax defaulted property, the property itself. What's the next level?
Okay, well, you're there now because that's tax defaulted property. So the county has 2 choices. Tax lien certificates, which we spend so much time on today, but there's also tax deeds. The county is selling the property itself, and the auctions can start near the amount of the delinquent back taxes. This can mean the starting bid far below the market value. This is how they do it in Texas, so you really want to sit up and listen.
So the rules matter again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Texas does what they call a redeemable deed. That means the former owner may have a redemption period. And if the owner redeems, the state law requires that a penalty payment must go to the buyer of the deed that they purchased. In other words, the buyer is going to get paid not only a return of capital, but a rate of 25%.
And if the owner does not redeem?
Well, then, after the required process, the property can become yours.
So why isn't this whole show about deeds?
Because it takes more capital and more homework.
Start in the shallow end.
Exactly. Tax lien certificates teach you how to work with the county, the list, and the rules. The book starts right there with a step-by-step process.
Time for another real one, and this story has work in it, which is exactly why I picked it. Results vary and all investing carries risk. So hear it as one couple's experience, not a promise. Here's what doing the homework looks like.
We did not know anything about tax foreclosure sales in depth. We knew they existed, but we didn't know what we could possibly do and how easy it was to go with the program.
And then we also didn't know that it was possible because when we heard, we thought it was too good to be true to be able to buy homes for back taxes. And once we found out that was true, then we bought a 45-foot coach and decided to retire from our jobs and get out of the rat race and go make some money and live a different lifestyle, live free. So that's why we're doing tax deeds.
And with this, we can get on our bus, travel over the country, find those tax liens and deeds, and have a great time doing it.
We obviously started buying, and for instance, this house, we bought 20 cents on the dollar, and we're going to profit over $39,000 when we sell this one.
To get your free copy of Ted Thomas's book, call now 281-695-1060. The book is absolutely free. Leave your name, mailing address, and phone number, and Ted will mail the book directly to you. The book will be shipped USPS Priority Mail with tracking. Call now 281-695-1060.
Here's what you have not heard this hour: a countdown clock, a limited supply, a promise about what you'll earn. That's on purpose. Tax lien certificates are sold by county governments under state law, and the rates up to 16, 18, 24%, depending on the state, are written in that law. What's not written anywhere is a promise. All investing carries risk, and results vary. What Ted Thomas offers is education, a plain English book that explains the system, the auctions, and the mistakes to avoid before you spend $1. To get your free copy of Ted Thomas's book, call 281-695-1060. The book is free. Leave your name, mailing address, and phone number, and Ted will mail the book directly to you. The book will be shipped via USPS Priority with tracking.
Here's another investor describing what happened when they put the process into practice. Results vary. This is one person's experience.
Folks, I want to introduce you to Shannon. She was a school teacher, and she really got excited, and she learned about tax defaulted property. She read the book and ended up in our coaching program. Listen to this.
I'm Shannon Ulrich. A year ago today, we hadn't heard of Ted Thomas. With selling my first tax deed, I made 2 times my yearly salary in that 6-month period. We paid around $34,000, which was 27% of the assessed value, $120,000. And then 6 months later, we were able to sell it for $135,000, which was 3.7 times our investment. So taking action can be frightening when you're stuck in a rut. I mean, unless you want to be a drone all your life. I have a friend that refers to people that go to work 9 to 5 as drones. Yeah. 1 year after meeting Ted Thomas, I am a happier, wealthier person that I feel alive, and I feel my potential more than I did a year ago. This program has given me 2 more years of my life where I didn't have to be going to an office. So it was no biggie to quit my job. Now I get to be a grandma, and every day is a Saturday.
Not everyone does as well the first time around. But let me ask you a question. How long would it take you to earn that kind of money working at your job?
That first check must feel strange.
Well, it feels like you're being a bank.
And if the owner never pays?
You just follow this. It's never ending. You research and you go back and do another one. This is why the homework comes first. If you do your homework, this is a safe, secure business.
Could families learn this together?
I notice that more and more families do this because, the young people are so good with the computer. And so it's nice to have another set of eyes on the deal. So I think it's a family business.
And what will the book not do, Ted?
Well, I can tell you, folks, the book won't do the work for you. So it won't pick the certificate for you to buy. It won't promise you a number. It won't make you rich by Friday, but it teaches you a system. This is a system. It was invented by the government. It's been around for 200 years. What you do with it is going to be up to you.
Book first. And keep the number handy, 281-695-1060.
You got it. Book first, folks. Read it before you invest.
And liens versus deeds?
Tax liens are a more passive investment, although the rates are exact. They could be 16, could be up to 18, could be up to 20. You'll know what it is. Whereas real estate, it's much more active and you have more work to do, but I think there's bigger rewards.
So today, start with the book.
Absolutely. Exactly. Read it first, then decide your next step with the facts in front of you.
Book first, everything else later, and here's how you get it. To get your copy of Ted Thomas's book for free, call 281-695-1060. Like I just said, the book is free. 281-695-1060. When you call, leave your name, your mailing address, your phone number, and Ted will mail the book directly to you. The book will be shipped via USPS priority mail with tracking.
Before we close, I've saved on purpose this story. It's a past client. These are careful people. As always, results, they're going to vary. All investment carries risk. Nobody here is promising you these kind of outcomes, but I'm sure you'll enjoy listening what we're going to play now.
Before I met Ted, I was scared to death. I had lost almost everything in the change of the real estate market, and I did not have a job. I didn't know what I was going to do. I have a brain-injured son who was 33 years old at the time, and I had rather pricey mortgage. And I did not know how I was going to pay my bills. I didn't know how I was going to feed the dog. I was very scared. And all I had was a small home equity line of credit on my house. And I was trying to find something I could do. I couldn't go out and get a job at minimum wage because my mortgage payment was too big. And so I had to find something. So I was at a seminar and I saw Ted for the first time. And he was talking about something that was very exciting. It was a very low investment. It was, from what he said in his program, it told you everything step by step to do. And it seemed like the safest thing I could do in my situation because I didn't have $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 to spend. And I had to have something that was going to work fast. When I first saw him, that was the first time I even knew what happened to people that didn't pay their taxes. I had no idea. And so I bought his program, did what he said to do, and oh my gosh, I made $100,000 my first year. I'm not worried about things anymore. I have developed a level of self-confidence I never would have believed. I know I can take care of myself now. I don't need anybody else to pay my bills, to do anything for me. I feed my dog. My son and I have a blast. It's the most amazing thing. I just really appreciate Ted even having this program. And the support that he offers has been nothing short of amazing. When I was going to go to my very first all by myself auction, I called the office and I didn't even think they'd talk to me, but I needed somebody to just give me that extra little bit of, you can do this, you've had the education, you know what you're doing. And they actually did. And they asked me to call them and let them know what happened. And I did because I bought my first property, which was a lot for $1,535. And they were like, wow, congratulations, all this kind of thing. And that was amazing also. And they've been very, very supportive. We have Coach Crystal, who is one of the coaches with the whole program. She does these calls on Wednesday nights where we can listen and ask questions and find out what to do. So I don't know. This has been wonderful for me. It has changed my life. I've found a new love. And I'm very appreciative that Ted was at that seminar that I went to and that I got his materials. This is the best time to be using Ted's system. In these horrible economic times with all the foreclosures and all the things that are happening with people, I've bought more properties than I would have dreamed possible. In my first year, I bought 7 different properties. I sold them and made over $125,000. I mean, is that amazing for somebody who had no experience at this, didn't know anything? I didn't even know what a tax deed was. I bought an office condo. I bought residential property. I bought a lot. I bought a boat slip for yachts. just like this property right here. I bought this at a tax auction. I paid a little over $5,400, $5,418.03, and I sold it less than a month later for over $70,000, $75,000. I made a $70,000 profit, and these people got a house for $50,000 less than all the houses in the neighborhood were selling for. Is that amazing or what? I made money. They got a great deal. I love Ted. His system is the best.
Careful, people, no hurry. That's been the thought line all hour. Folks, you've heard how this works. How can it go wrong, and how real investors approach it? Nobody rushed you. There's no countdown. You do have one decision to make. Ted, give my listeners the last word.
Yes, I'll do that. Will you give this a few hours at your kitchen table? If yes, get the book, read it, decide your next step, and the facts will all be right there in front of you. The county will still be there next month, and so will I. It's your choice.
And age is not an excuse.
I'm 87 in September, and I still do this. You can do it too.
And the rule one more time?
Folks, you never give money to Ted Thomas. Your money is invested directly with the county. That's the government. And your check comes back from the county. That's the government. That's the whole safety briefing.
Spoken like a pilot. And one last reminder, here's the phone number, 281-695-1060, gets you the free book. And here's your homework, folks. To get your free copy of Ted Thomas's book, you must call right now, 281-695-1060. The book is free. Leave your name, mailing address, and phone number, and Ted will mail the book directly to you. The book will be shipped USPS, priority mail with tracking.
Jim, thank you. To everyone listening, read it at the kitchen table. That's where this works best.
Ted, the music has come up. That means we have to go. Thank you so much for joining me today, Ted. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time here on Checka Pro Radio.
Thanks for listening to the Checka Pro Radio Show. For more information on how to select the right contractor for your project, visit our website, checkaproradioshow.com. Join us again next week at the same time.
The information, opinions, and statements expressed by guests on this program are solely those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect the views of the host, Checka Pro, this station, its management, affiliates, sponsors, or advertisers. This program is intended for general informational and educational purposes only. Results may vary.
Listen up, contractors. The Checka Pro Challenge is on. Dave Ramsey here to tell you demand is growing for your services. My friend Jim Klauck is the owner of checkapro.com. Jim needs to add more contractors to the website to keep up with the demand. So if you're the best in your field and you want to expand your customer base, you need to take the Checka Pro Challenge. Do you super serve your customers? Do your customers rave about you? Then log on to checkapro.com and take the Checka Pro Challenge. It's not easy. I know the high standards at Checka Pro, but once you get qualified, you'll be listed among the best contractors in the area. Right now, homeowners are looking for remodelers, plumbers, electricians, roofers, AC companies, landscapers, and other home service providers. So, if you have what it takes to serve your customers well, take the Checka Pro Challenge at checkapro.com. checkapro.com.